Now, I know when we set this up, this whole wall, I said, we're not scaping these, they're holding tanks, but I really want to scape them. So there's like individual species in each tank, so I'm going to try and do something a little bit different for each and every one, but still look amazing. Now, obviously, straight away, I am drawn to the angelfish, but this is not a angelfish home. This is a holding tank for them until we set up something bigger, so there's no point in that. None of these are technically homes, but it seems a shame for smaller fish not to be able to set up a proper scape rather than just some plop and drop plants. Like, for instance, for the lyre-tail killies, we could do a really cool setup in there for them. But then when we scoop them out, it can be fine for another, set of small nano fish as well. We've got the neons we could do one for, like we could probably do a nice blackwater one with that, with botanicals and stuff. We've got the harlequin rasporas here. Are these harlequins, Matt? Are they the other variety?
Copper harlequins. So they're the Espe, I think their Latin name. Because there's quite a few different copper harlequins. I think there's 3 or 4.
Yeah, and it's the shape of the black bit, isn't it, that sort of tells you?
Yeah, the shape of the black bit and also the amount of orange. So there's one that's got like the black tick and all it's got is an orange tick underneath it. Whereas the Espe has the black tick, upside down tick, and then a full-on orange flash to the side sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think these are more vibrant than the other ones, aren't they?
They are. Those ones are the sort of the better ones, I suppose you would say.
No,
they're
not
more
betters.
colourful. No. Shut up.
Looks like this one's got a bit of like a tumour on him or something, but doesn't seem to be struggling, so yeah, we'll let him be. I think I want to scape for the lyre-tails first.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you've got the new guppies.
There's the new guppies, yeah.
Well, you got, yeah, that's probably...
The rice fish I want to put in a tank we've already set up, and when it's ready, they'll go in. Are you just checking that water change?
I'm topping up the tank and I'm stood over here talking to you, which is never a good thing.
It's when you hear the different kind of splash that puts fear in all of us. The one where it's hitting the floor.
That dribble and splash of, what noise is that?
Because that's the thing, isn't it? When this is full and to the brim, because it's level, even 3 seconds of water in every direction is a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, even 5 litres of water just spread thinly across the floor goes a long way.
Really annoying. Anyway, so what I need to do is take the fish out, drain it down, take out the substrate as well, because I want to put aqua soil in there. I just want to get some sort of carpeting plants going, because the lights that we've got here from Superfish are more than powerful to grow really nice carpeting plants. So today's video is proudly sponsored by API and Aquarian. Now, I don't need to go into some long spiel about this. You guys know I've been using it for like over 4 years now. These are pretty much the only products I use in the whole studio. Oh, and not to forget the master test kit as well. And yeah, I think the results pretty much speak for themselves. The whole place is looking so good at the moment as well. Obviously, I mainly focus on planting tanks, and I put it down to leaf zone combined with the root tabs as one of the main reasons why the tanks just look so good. The plants are growing so healthy. And the foods from Aquarian are absolutely great as well. All fish are looking real healthy and great at the moment too, so thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video, many of the other videos, and just supporting this whole project, which is continuing to grow. And we have got some fantastic tanks lined up for you guys in the future as well, which these guys are going to play a big role in. Throughout the video, we're going to be using these products, more details as they happen, but for now, back to the video. So that's the whole tank cleared out. It's all been cleaned as well. Well, I say cleaned. I gave it a little wipe over with the little bit of tissue there. I've saved the substrate because that's all clean and good. Some of the plants we're keeping are in there. And then we've got the epiphytes and all the fish in this tank with the rocks, so there's all the beneficial bacteria. They'll be fine in there for a day or so. Which means we can now get started on the scape. So it's going to be a full-on planted aquarium, so for that we need a proper substrate system, and none of this just a little bit of sand, which, to be honest, will eventually turn into a substrate system because all the waste from the fish will work its way into it. But that can take months and months and months. We're going straight in with some Nutri-Base and then some aqua soil on top. So this is the stuff I've been using at the moment quite a bit, and I've had immensely good success with it. The Nutri-Base just goes down as a thin layer, and then your soil goes on top. I also put some root tabs in as well, which I always do, to be honest. It just bumps it all up. And it's the same as I did in this system, which, believe it or not, is only just over 2 weeks old. You've got Glossostigma already rooting. All the plants are on the side, the hair grass all spreading. We're running CO2, but yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? These were all tiny little easy grow plants from Aquafleur. like teeny tiny. I'll put up a shot of when we planted it 2 weeks ago to now, but that's so good. This is kind of what's made me want to do what we're about to do in the whole fish wall. So yeah, nutri-base first. So we've got our base layer there. This stuff from Colombo, this Aquasoil, is a slight hint of brown to it, and I actually think I like that better than the full-on black. It looks a little bit more realistic, I guess. But the good thing is now we can place rocks in however we want, and they're already going to go whatever angle we need them to as well. So I'm going to do just like a nice little 2-piece Sirius stone, maybe some wood as well. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'll start with a rock. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for a start. It's a little bit flat, it might evolve, but I do want some wood as well. Just a small little bit of thin wood, sort of curving up and meeting at that central point where the valley is. I was, if you notice, trying to fill in this section, and then I thought, you know what? It's a good little pocket for some plants, some colour, something like that, so keep it open, because the beauty of putting Aquasoil as a base is you can plant absolutely everywhere. Yeah, I'm liking that. Very simple. Just 3 pieces of wood so far. I'm going to glue them to the rocks so they're locked down. Then I'm going to add lots of little detail pieces as well coming down into the foreground just to make it look a little bit more aged, and I think that'll just set it off nicely. There's quite a lot in a small tank, but like I said, there's plenty of planting room. It might be impossible to catch the fish out later, but that'll be fun. So that's the structure of the tank taken care of. I'm really pleased with it. It's quite a lot of detail. But because I've now placed in all my rock, I can see the areas where I need to place my root tabs. Sometimes I do this just everywhere to start with, but because this is a small tank, I'm not going to be using too many. For this size tank, I only need about 4 tabs. I'll break them up into little pieces and just place them where I know there's going to be plants, and that's just going to ensure real long-term growth. And to be honest, every time I do this, the plants just look amazing. So I kind of don't want to not do it whenever I do a build now. Yeah, so I've got like 4 here, and just break them up. Break up quite easily. You can do it as smaller pieces you want, but I'm going to go for halves. And then it's just a case of, I know I'm going to have some good foreground plants, so I'm going to push it right down to the base, because obviously that's where the roots are going to go to. They always tend to. Another one in the middle there. And then that means I've got effectively 4 points all over the front that have got a dense area of nutrients. The roots always find the most nutrient-rich area anyway, so we're all good. And then I'm going to have quite a few stem plants at the back, so I'm going to stick the remaining tabs in the background area. So planting-wise, I want it quite sort of dainty in the foreground. I want to get a carpeting plant, something that doesn't have to be trimmed regularly, but is just looking gorgeous, kind of maintenance-free. Background will have stems, and it'll just be a case of just snipping them off whenever we need to. I've got so many good plants to choose from for stems as well, growing in other setups. It's always a massive bonus if you can take your plants from another setup, trimmings, and replant. They just go straight away. There's no settling in period. You know, the roots tend to just spread out and hit in the first week, which is massively beneficial in terms of just starting a tank up. I mean, we're at a massive benefit anyway, because the filter that was in here is now in the tank next to it running still, so it's kind of cycled straight away. So a really nice foreground there, look, it's a complete mixed bag to be honest. We've got hairgrass, Monte Carlo, Cuba, a little bit of glossostigma mixed in, and we've got that cryptparva as well. And that'll all merge together and just create a real natural look in the foreground. It'll take a little bit of time, I'd say probably a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks and that'll be pretty much filled in. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of detail to the woods, not too much, I don't wanna cover it all up. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of a Nubius bonsai and also a little bit of Boost Philandra as well, but not the green variety, I've got other ones. So this one here, look, the Boosthea, I think it's pronounced. But yeah, look, it's got more of a smooth leaf to it, and I really like how that looks. Oh, and there's also that one there. Yeah, I love that one, I'll get that out. Boost Biblis, look at that, look. Lots of little detail on that. That's looking great. I don't want to do any more. I want to keep some of that wood on show, especially like the sort of gap in the middle. And I want to put all the stems in the background, but if you can, you can't really see, but the soil level is quite low down. So I'm going to bring it up a bit so that when we plant the stems, you can see them straight away and it looks kind of more grown in. And yeah, it'll just look way better doing it that way. If you can, if you don't have any extra soil, don't worry about it. Just give it more time. Something I'm not renowned for, but yeah. So I'm now ready to fill the tank up. Some people like to plant their stem plants now. I like to fill it up and you can just see where they're all sitting and take your time with it and get it arranged so that it looks good straight away. Otherwise, I'll just put it all in now, fill it up, and it'll be all over the place, got to readjust. So I'd just rather do it later. Yes, it will make the water go kind of murky as you're disturbing the soil, but with a sponge filter especially, it'll clear very fast. Plus we've got AquaClear, which will make it clear even faster. Well, the disaster has happened. The wood has floated. The good thing is it's not difficult to fix on this small tank, but it'll be easy just to drain the water out. I used a few little spots of glue instead of using a big bit of tissue, soaking it with the glue and sticking it onto that. Matt wants to laugh.
I'm giggling a little bit. Mr. More is more was less is less with the glue.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't use enough glue. It's happening too many times recently, isn't it? I thought it'd be fine,
yeah,
because I thought that was old wood that was already sort of soaked and waterlogged. Turns out it's not.
Could have been worse. Could have been the Akara tank. If that floated, I think it would have taken the Akara tank out.
Absolutely, which is looking crystal clear now.
It's looking so good.
So the way around this is you take a little bit of tissue, put some liquid super glue onto it just to get it sort of tacky, and then just place it where roughly you think it's going to sit with the wood on top. That should stay there now. I'm going to do a bit more in this area as well because I'm pretty sure that's where it sits. And I'm not taking any chances, I'm going to put some more there too. This is all a lot easier if I did it before. And then you just soak all of this in the super glue, which don't worry, doesn't harm any fish or shrimp or anything like that. It just goes hard straight away pretty much, which means it's a plastic. So they go into that and they soak into the paper. Right, it's already fizzing, which means its reaction's taking place. Then I can place my wood on, press it down and hold it, and it should bind with it. And there we go, look, it's all solid and stuck. Right, we're filled up, we're locked down. I want to now put in the filter so that we've got enough space at the back for it to stay before putting the plants in. And also it'll clear it even more. It's pretty clear, but there's some particles, some crud on the top as well, but I'll get that off after. Right, so the tank is full of water. Now I filled this up from the water butt, and if you don't do something like that, you want to use something like Aqua Essential now if it's come straight from your tap, because this detoxifies ammonium nitrite and nitrate. That's in an already established tank that's having problems. But for your tap water, it removes chlorine, chloramines, and heavy metals. Now, like I said, I don't need to dose this now because I've dosed the whole water butt. But if you do have to dose a tank like this, it's the tiniest amount. So a bottle like this goes a long way. It's not that expensive to start with. Just get one, you're sorted then. Aqua Essential. It's essential. And I kind of want this tank to be like a mixed bag of colour in certain areas and different species and stuff. I just love how this tank looks, to be honest. I kind of want it on a smaller scale, but with like a foreground carpet. So I'm going to take off trimmings, plant them. This will grow back even thicker and better, and it gets a good start on the new tank as well. So I'm really liking that. We've got the pops of red in this corner, but I want more green over in that side. And I'm going to use this lovely bunch of Hygrophila polysperma that I've taken out of another tank. It's got a plant weight on it. This can literally just sit on the surface of the aqua soil, and all those roots will just find their way in, and it will just keep growing beautiful. Right, so this bit's quite important for new setups. Although we've got aqua soil, we've got the root tabs in there, the nutrients are in the substrate already. But we've moved all these plants out, the root systems aren't established, they're going to be in a little bit of shock. You know, we've got epiphyte plants as well with completely clear water. That's where the leaf zone really comes into play, especially in the initial setup. So we'll always dose leaf zone straight away, as soon as the tank is set up, just so there's some nutrients like water column, and all the plants will just settle in so much better. And another thing, a tank this size, it barely requires any. So 5 mil, which is half a cap, is more than enough to get things going. So what is in leaf zone? As I always say, it contains iron, potassium, and magic. So basically the leaf zone, the root tabs, and the waste from the fish is to provide everything that the plants need. I've never found it necessary to do anything more than that. And as a lot of you sitting around, the plants just do amazing. Sometimes they do too good, which is a good problem to have, but you know, constantly trimming and things like that. It's a good problem to have, right? And that's good, we're now ready. We can add in our fish, which are still down here in our bucket, doing absolutely brilliantly. So I'll just drain that out, take everything out and put them in. So our killifish are ready. We've gone for all the panchaks and a pair of the lyre tails. There we go. Awesome. Obviously I meant a pair of pairs. Matt just pointed out, did you just put one pair in? No, I meant a pair of pairs. Now the fish are in, of course, but for extra security, I will add some more quick start. It's not an established tank, even though the filter is already cycled. Just think of it as an insurance policy. I never get losses on startup whenever I've used quick start, which is a blinking lot of times now, let me tell you. And I only need 1 capful for this tank. It's basically dormant beneficial bacteria that comes to life when we add it to the tank. Like I said, the filter's already cycled, but you know, added insurance. So normally when I set up tanks, I add the quick start straight away, even with a fresh filter. And again, I still don't get any issues, but I make sure I test the water daily as well, especially on startup, just to make sure that everything is good. Oh, our killies are just in the back there, getting acquainted. And not to forget as well, killifish are jumpers, so this tank does need a lid. You know, they might not, but it's not worth the risk, so nice lid on there, perfect. So it's undoubtedly going to take a few days for all the fish to settle in. The lyre tails were pretty much very shy instantly. One stayed at the front for a little bit and then just scooted off to the back. They kind of just seemed like they're making their own territories back there. But the panchaks were surprisingly all out in the open straight away, and they stayed there. They're completely comfortable straight away. Given the 2 pairs of the lyre tails, I'm thinking that they're going to go and find little territories, separate each other and just have their own area to get really comfortable in. We might even see some breeding action. That would be really cool. I have bred killifish before, completely accidentally to be honest. I removed some plants from a killifish tank once and put them down in a plant storage area. And lo and behold, a few months later, there was killifish all swimming around. So that was a fantastic surprise because I wasn't expecting any fish in the tank, and boom, there they appeared. Now remember, the filter is already cycled, so we're all good. There's no need to be worried about parameters. I will check, I always check. The quick start is going to make everything safe anyway, as that extra insurance. Now I wouldn't call this highlighting on this tank, so it's not going to grow the plants really fast. The stems will because they're near the surface, but the carpet plants are going to take a little bit more time, and I'm okay with that. I want this one to be sort of slow and steady, just trimming it every now and again. And because we've got those simple stem plants in the back area, it's just going to be a case of really quickly going over and just trimming them back down. I won't even replant the stems, to be honest, because I'm just going to be nipping the tops off each time, so there's not going to be a huge amount left. But that is absolutely perfect for these kind of tanks. I want them to be low maintenance but look beautiful. That's the idea. Eventually I want to scape all of them, not in the same way, all a little bit different, but easy maintenance, but looking beautiful. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Make sure you liked and subscribed and that, and I'll see you on the next one.